What's the funniest joke you've ever heard?
The bartender says we don't serve faster than light particles here. A tachyon walks into a bar. A photon walks into a bar, but we don't know which door it used. A photon gets kicked out of a bar because when asked to pay for his drink he says, I'm a little light. A quark was asked to leave a bar for being a little strange. A quark walks into a bar and introduces himself. The bartender says, charmed I'm sure. Schrodinger's cat comes into a bar. And doesn't. A neutron walks into a bar and asks, how much is a beer? The bartender says, for you, no charge. Some helium floats into a bar. The bartender says, get out. We don't serve any noble gases in this bar. Helium doesn't react. A room temperature superconductor walks into a bar. The bartender says, get out. There are no superconductors allowed in this bar. The room temperature superconductor leaves without putting up any resistance. My ex-wife still misses me. But her AIM is getting better. What do you call a lesbian dinosaur? Lick-a-lot-a-puss, say it out loud. How many flies does it take to screw in a light bulb? 2, but how did they get in there? I used to think revenge is a dish best served cold. Now it knows that it means getting back at someone. My wife came up to me and told me I was immature. I told her to get out of my fort. The masochist says to the sadist, are you going to beat me now? And the sadist says no. How long did Cain hit his brother with a rock? For as long as he was able. Whatever it was, I know I heard it from Norm Macdonald. A baby seal walks into a club. From my 6-year-old cousin, do you know how to catch a polar bear with a can of peas? First, you have to cut a hole in the ice. Then you place the peas around the hole. When the polar bear comes to eat the peas, you kick him in the ice hole. A fish swims into a wall and says, damn. A farmer has a lazy-eyed horse. It bothers him, and one day he calls a vet to try to fix it. The vet tells him it's a simple procedure: stick a hose up the horse's butt and blow into it until the eye is straight again. The farmer begins blowing as the vet watches the horse's eye. But the farmer runs out of breath and asks his farmhand to take over blowing. The farmhand plucks the hose out of the horse's butt and sticks the other end in. The farmer exclaims, why do you do that? And the farmhand replies, you put your mouth on that end. Where does the three-legged horse live? In the unstable. Reddit is going public. I'm not sure if it's really a joke, but it's the dirtiest/funniest/cleverest sentence I've ever heard. So I was eating out my grandma the other day, when suddenly I tasted horse semen, and I wondered, I bet that's how she died. I'm sorry. A horse walks into a bar, and approaches the bartender. The bartender asks, why the long face? Are you depressed? The horse pauses for a bit, before replying, I don't think so. With a poof, he suddenly vanishes. You see, this is a philosophy joke. It references René Descartes, who said I think, therefore I am. Since the horse says he doesn't think, he doesn't. Is? Anyway, explaining that beforehand might have made more sense, but that would be putting Descartes before the horse. What did Dracula say to the teacher? See you next period. God comes to Adam and Eve and says, I've made everything I want to make, but I found one more thing in my bag of stuff. It's the ability to pee standing up. Who wants it? Adam jumps up and down and says, me, I want the ability to stand up to pee. So God says, boof. Adam has the ability to stand up to pee. But as he is walking away, God realizes there is one more thing in his bag. Multiple orgasms. Where does a suicide bomber go when they die? Everywhere. First heard from my 12-year-old who was going through a dark humor joke videos on YouTube phase. What's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean? I don't pay $300 to have a garbanzo bean in my mouth. Do you like fish sticks? What are you, a gay fish? Do you like fish sticks? I was telling my wife that I'd heard the window cleaner has slept with every woman in our street except for one. I bet it's that stuck-up cow at number 24, she replied. When ist das Nunstuck-Git unslot mir? Ja. Behend das oder die Flipperwalt just put. Donald Trump. LOL. A recent favorite, what's the difference between a hot sweet potato and a flying pig? One is a heated yam, and the other is a yeeter ham. I love it because whenever I tell it, I get to watch all respect for me leave the other person's eyes. 3 old ladies are sitting on a park bench. A strange man walks up and flashes them. 2 of the old ladies have a stroke. The third couldn't reach. Why do ducks have feathers? To cover their butt quack. A trucker is eating at burger shop when an elderly couple comes in. They order 1 burger, 1 fries, and 1 drink. The trucker notices so mildly watches. The man starts eating, but his wife sits quietly. The trucker feels bad, so he goes over. Hey, I'm a trucker, I don't pay rent, can I buy food for your wife to enjoy with you? Old man said no, we share everything. Trucker took his L, but after a few minutes of the woman still not touching the food, he asks again to buy her food. The old man repeated no, we share everything. Trucker is getting kinda missed at this point with the man, so he turns to the lady and asks, Mom, if y'all share everything, why aren't you eating? She replies, he's got the teeth. Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle? Because his wife died. A priest and a rabbi walk into a bar. The priest turns to the rabbi and says, hey, did you hear the one about us? Why did Mary fell of the swing? She didn't have any arms. Knock knock. Who's there? Definitely not Mary. 2 antennas met on a roof, fell in love, and got married. The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was excellent. I have to give credit to Herb Khan for this one. In the San Francisco Chronicle years and years ago, claimed it to be a true story. A lady goes into a store and walks around for a while, frustrated when she can't find what she's looking for. She finally goes up to a clerk to ask for help. I need a box of Tampax, she says. What kind? Asks the clerk. The lady shrinks a little but answers back, super. So the clerk gets on the horn and hollers for God and everyone to hear, stock boy, lady needs a box of super Tampax at check stand 3. The lady shrinks a little more but stands her ground. But the stock boy didn't hear correctly. He thought the clerk said thumbtacks. So he hollers back, which kind does she want, the kind you press in with your thumb or the kind you pound in with a hammer? A skeleton walks into a bar and asks for a beer and a mop. I was in a roast room on Clubhouse and one guy was known to have a deep chin dimple, heavy guy too. Someone said he refuses to wear a mask because it gives him a camel toe, and it still has me laughing out loud on the couch RN. So funny. What do you call a fairy that won't take a bath? Stinkerbell. Got some sad news today. After 7 years of medical training, my good friend has been struck off after one minor indiscretion. He slept with one of his patients and now can no longer work in the job he loves. What a waste of time, training and money. A genuinely nice guy, and a brilliant vet. A priest, a pastor and a rabbit entered a clinic to donate blood. The nurse asked the rabbit, "What's your blood type?" "I'm probably a typo," said the rabbit. Q, what did one math book say to the other? A, I have a lot of problems. Did you hear the one about the deaf kid? No, neither did he. My dog has no nose, how does he smell? Awful. I was taking my dog for a walk when this girl says, "What you doing with that pig?" I said, "It's a dog, not a pig." She said, "I was talking to the dog." Norm Macdonald's moth joke. Legendary. Why did the blind man fall into the well? 'Cause he couldn't see that well. What do gay horses eat? Hey. My son's music teacher called me. "Hello, this is Billy's music teacher, it's about your son. Is he doing well?" "He's like Elvis." "Oh, so he's doing really well." "No, he's dead on the toilet." 2 antennas get married on the roof. The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was incredible. I told my wife she should embrace her mistakes. She gave me a hug. This has been wildly disappointing. How do you fit an elephant into a Safeway bag? You take the S out of safe and the F out of way. What's the difference between a good joke and a bad joke?